Welcome to Nugget 219 with Steve and Dana Grohman, and today we will be returning to the December 2021 Scientific American. As we have mentioned, the only two things that these magazines generally cover these days is political correctness and things to do with outer space.
The article right on the front cover of the magazine, it says, "The fate of our galaxy, new research on cosmic collision is revealing the Milky Way's future." They're coming up with new information. New revelations about how galaxies collide offer a preview of the Milky Way's future. What do you think of that?
I'm in suspense. Tell me more.
Forecasted future. An illustration shows a possible view of the merging of Milky Way and Andromeda, those systems as seen from Pluto, which may get tossed into the galaxy's outskirts, along with the solar system. First of all, a view from Pluto? I don't think they're going to know that. And it says that it's just an illustration of these things. People see this stuff and they assume it to be a photograph. They assume it to be true, when really it's just an illustration. Illustration is just what somebody believes they're seeing.
All right, well, let's dive into this article and see what these guys are predicting.
Listen how this reads. In approximately 5 billion years, as the sun expands into a red giant star, roughly the diameter of Earth's orbit around it, our galaxy will collide with its nearest large neighbor, Andromeda. As gravity draws the pair toward each other for a close encounter, the stars will be ripped from their orbit to make spectacular tails, and gas and dust will be squeezed towards the approaching nuclei, destroying the stately grand spirals that have existed for almost 3/4 of the age of the universe. Now, just think about this. In 5 billion years, this is going to happen. The gravity is going to pull these things together. They're drawing together. The entire systems are coming together. Apparently, they don't hit each other. It's kind of strange. We'll get to that here in a minute. But it hits so hard that it's going to make spectacular tails, and gas and dust will be squeezed towards the approaching nuclei, destroying everything that's in sight. Eventually, the centers of the galaxies will merge, and the gas pouring toward the center will ignite an explosion of star formation. That'd be violent, wouldn't it? Producing stars more than 100 times faster than either galaxy does today. It will also feed the now quiet supermassive black holes that lurk at the center of both galaxies. The black holes will grow while releasing a storm of energetic particles and radiation that will easily outshine the light from all the stars in both galaxies combined. Do you see how this is a fairy tale?
I'm just wondering how this is fact. This is totally, it's not necessarily fiction, but it's certainly speculation in its highest degree.
Highest degree. It says, and after another 100 million years or so, the two supermassive black holes will spiral toward each other and merge into a single black hole in a cataclysm that will send strong gravitational waves. These gravitational waves and this whole thing, besides the fact that this just reads like a sci-fi kids movie, listen to what this part down here says, the merging sequence. Gravity will one day draw together our Milky Way with its neighboring spiral galaxy, Andromeda. This collision will take several billion years to unfold, will not harm most of the stars and planets inside the galaxy. How can such a massive thing taking place, explosion, pulling each other, slamming each other into each other, miss all the stars and miss all that stuff? I mean, that doesn't even, to me, make any sense at all. But I guess they have good GPS systems or something. But anyway, they will, however, be strewn to new locations throughout the merging bodies. This sequence from a computer simulation shows the predicted course of events. The simulation derived from Hubble Space Telescope observations of Andromeda's motion shows that the end result will not be a spiral but an oblong elliptical gravity. I'll tell you, this is a sci-fi movie at its best, I think.
Well, and they give these pictures on these next couple of pages showing what it's going to be at certain time frames, like 3.75 billion years in the future, 3.875 billion years in the future, and it continues on. All I know is that last night I looked at the weather, and to predict the future of what the weather would be like today.
Let me guess. They didn't do so great.
They didn't do so great.
Okay.
The temperature's close, but it was going to be sunny, and then it was going to be cloudy and spotty rain showers, and we're actually having a beautiful day. And they're going to tell us what's going to happen 4.7, 4.8, and 5 billion years from now in two supposed galaxies. One of the things that caught my attention in this article is that our team also uses ground-based telescopes, such as the VLA, which is the Very Large Array in New Mexico, the Hale 200-inch telescope at Mount Palomar in California, and it continues on. And the reason I wanted to point out those two is that we did go see the VLA in New Mexico. It is just west of Socorro, and I've been wanting to go out there for a very, very long time. And we finally went there. Actually, the antennas are about 40 to 50 miles west of Socorro. And then as far as the Palomar one in LA, we were scheduled to go there, and then we all know what happened in this nation in 2020 and 2021 that stopped us from being able to go to that observatory in LA. I'm just so disappointed about that, and hope that at some point in the future, and not 5 billion years from now, we'll actually be able to make it to that observatory and see these telescopes. We do enjoy going to these places and seeing these things, even though we know that their scenario is incorrect, but we are seeing the glorious creation of God. We just know that their sizes, distances, time frames are all just terribly mistaken, but they have to continue with the evolutionary scenario that they've come up with and just tweak it as they go along.
They have to. They have no other choice because they've left out the creator, so that can't have happened. It had to have happened on its own. The only way that could have happened is with explosions and such. I want everybody to just kind of think this through logically. How can an explosion, these two massive, massive galaxies be drawing into each other, which is going to speed up the progress of them drawing into each other, the gravity of them, and then they're going to grow such a massive phenomena that it's going to create this gigantic explosion. Can you imagine how loud that'll be? But yet the stars aren't even going to hit each other. This thing talks about how most of the stars will actually miss each other. Look what it says here. Despite the fireworks, this process, which is happening around us today. I go out with our P900 nice telephoto lens camera. I've never seen these kind of explosions taking place all around us today. And then it says it's not really a collision. Again, it says despite the fireworks, this process, which is happening around us today, was even more common in the early universe. Is not really a collision in the strictest sense of the word. Galaxies are mostly empty spaces. It goes on talking about how far the stars are from each other. Well, then how in the world are they going to, if they're, as far as they're saying here, 5 light years apart from each other, how is the center of this stuff going to collide? And if the center's going to collide, wouldn't something prior to it collide? If you got a hallway in the house and a hallway in my house, and we collide the two hallways together, chances are other things are going to hit each other before those two hallways do. And it's the same anywhere. Anywhere, if you use common sense and logic, for some reason, when NASA says something, or when science says something, so to speak, everybody's just oohed and awed by it and never really think it through. The reality is these things will be slamming into each other the whole time, and therefore it would not be allowed to happen in the first place.
I think we should park it right here and pick up in Nugget 220 with our conclusion of the analysis of this article. If you haven't bought all your Christmas presents, the Creation Seminar series is almost 30 hours of information, and it would be a perfect Christmas gift for a whole slew of people. So give us a call or go to our website, creationseminar.net, to order. And if you order before Christmas, which is only a few days away, we will give you free shipping and free gift wrap. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.